Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend DG Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/Capes and Lunatics. Hope to see you there.
Hi, this is Dan Jurgens, and you are listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Look, up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's an electric mullet. Welcome back, kids, to another week of Electric Mullet. I am Phil. Joining me, as always, Superman's #1 fan. It is Mr. Tyler Patrick.
Hey, what's up, Phil?
Hey, what's up, Tyler?
Not much, man. You know, I'm liking these new circle-like screens, but I wish you could kind of make your name or something smaller because I feel like with your name, it almost takes up like half of the image.
Yeah. You're on the screen there.
For real.
It's almost like comic booky, just...
Yeah.
All right, kids. So, yes, this time we're going to be covering Superman 36, Adventures of Superman 459, and Action Comics 646.
Yeah, we are. It's going to be interesting.
All right. So, should we jump in?
I mean, yeah, if that's what we choose to do. Did your DC app update today?
Yeah, I was just pulling up images. Yeah, it said there's a new version. So
I was reading and then I went back to read some more and it was like update.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, cool.
Well, like in the middle of reading?
I exited out and then I came back a little bit later and it was like needs to update. I was like, oh, that's nice. Maybe it won't glitch so much anymore and freeze.
I hope so. Or it's like you'll read a couple pages and then it comes back to the same pages.
The one that pisses me off the most is like when you read like a trade and you end it and then it leaves like in your dive back in just a random issue.
Oh, geez.
Whatever series you were reading. I'm like, no, dang it.
Or when you're reading a single issue, like say it's a number 2 and then instead of number 3, it goes to, some kind of trade volume 3. No.
Yeah. Or like, okay, what gets me is where is it here? Like I'm staying up with certain titles, right? And like with Teen Titans, like I'm all caught up, and then I get to the end of whatever the newest issue is, and it throws me back to like one of these, like an annual or the Tales of Teen Titans special, or the Nightmare thing or Night Terrors, whatever that summer event was.
Night Terrors, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, dang it, just leave it that I finished it. It's like I just want to, pick up where I left off actual reading, not in this. Like if I read the last issue of something, it's done.
Yeah, the whole thing with Night Terrors though is like I don't know if it's technically the next issue because they kind of took like 2 months off and threw Night Terrors instead of the regular, which sometimes it worked. Like on Green Lantern, the regular guy who was writing Green Lantern, Jeremy Adams, wrote the Night Terrors issue, so he kind of sorta made it fit in. But a lot of them, it wasn't the regular monthly writer, so it had nothing to do with the regular book.
It's just frustrating. So, but which one are we doing first?
Superman 36. Sorry, I was just I forgot I had updated the app on my phone, so I'm updating on the iPad here.
Nope, you are good, my friend. You are good.
So it doesn't freeze on me, hopefully. All right. So wait a minute. Where's my search? Oh, there it is, up top. Okay.
Yeah, weird. I know. I had that earlier. I was like, wait, where did it go? Yeah, it's up top. 36.
Why do we gotta make things so complicated?
If I had to, okay, so I told you before we started, like that none of these issues really was like my thing this week. If I had to pick one, it's totally this one.
Oh, the prankster one?
Yeah.
And again, besides the whole prankster thing, it kind of like fills in the blanks of like some of the time around Gangbuster and stuff. So it's almost more homework than anything else.
It's also some of it's just absurd with what happens that I'm just like, yeah, this is good.
All right, hold on. I'll do the credits, but yeah, I think this is the one that has no synopsis at all. So
Why would it have a synopsis, Phil?
I know,
Synopsis
it's just nuts.
makes sense.
All right, Superman Volume 2, number 36 from October 1989. Laugh. I thought I died. Shouldn't it be laugh? I thought you'd die.
Yeah, that makes more sense. But
writer and penciler Jerry Ordway, inker Dennis Jank, colorist Glenn Whitmore, letterer John Costanza, and editors Jonathan Peterson and Mike Carlin. All right, and again, there's a hold on, I'll throw the cover up here. It's Morgan Edge in his hospital bed about to get chainsawed in half by the prankster.
I know it's what I'm saying. Like it's just like ridiculous. Superman's like stopping it. You're just there. So you got it pulled up.
Yeah. Look at that. So yeah, this one has no synopsis. So this one, it starts with Superman basically helping clean up. Did it say which? Is this from when the robot ran amok when he came back to Earth?
It feels like
so.
That's what it is.
Because he's helping the guys at Kirby Salvage. Because Kirby kids.
Yeah, it feels right.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of this Superman creative teams at this time are fans of Jack Kirby because we're getting the Guardian and Cadmus and the Newsboy Legion. So,
you see that in waves, right? Where you see the past generation coming to appreciate, or the new generation, appreciating the past generation in some way.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that's like kind of a lot of the current writers are like fans of like the '90s stuff. Like the current writers are like around our age now, so they make you feel old.
Well, not to get off topic, but like I just recorded with my friend for his podcast, Gravely Amusing, and we did a Joker special, and we were talking about how you can see patterns of like people our age who grew up with a certain aspect of the character that now that they're writing books, they're kind of bringing that back into stories. And you see that with a lot of things, like when people who grew up with a certain thing or the ones creating it, they kind of pull back to what it was they were growing up with. But can we talk about whatever this vehicle is that Guardian's driving?
Oh yeah, his
helicopter car.
Yes,
it's ugly as crap, but it flies. Looks like it has jet engines and a helicopter.
Yeah, which is nice because because Superman was after he's like done cleaning up here, he sees Guardian, and they jump into his battle van here, and it takes off because he starts talking about the whole gangbuster thing. It's like, oh yeah, last time you saw me, I was kind of like freaking out.
I like when we get to see Adam with his dad, Joseph Morgan.
Yeah.
And I had to laugh because like Joseph Morgan Edge.
I know, like, Joseph Morgan Edge, yeah.
But then this whole scene where he like pulls Morgan Edge's tube, grabs the tube, he's clipping it off, basically threatening him, saying, his cat, where is something about like, I don't care about Cat Grant, like whatever, but she's Adam's mother.
So, I know, and then he's all like, I don't care if you try to kill all those other reporters, but yeah, don't try to kill Cat because she's my son's mother.
And then it took me a minute because like he releases it, and then Morgan goes to call and gets sprayed. And I was trying to figure out if he was the one responsible for that, because I was kind of like, what the heck just happened?
No, I think that's the first prankster prank. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he goes to grab the phone, and then there's bubble gum attached to the phone. Then he gets a mop in the face.
Yeah, it almost looks like a janitor comes in, but as we'll see later, it's the prankster.
Yeah, because they say they get the janitor, and then all the Cadmus stuff. Honestly, I could really care less about in this story.
Yeah, a lot of that is just again filling in the blanks on Gangbuster because Double X is probing Superman's mind, and we kind of see what he did in Superman 26 after Superman gets blasted by the Thanagarians and crashes into the street. He changed into the Gangbuster in the sewers because I guess that's where he was keeping his costume. Ew, that Gangbuster suit. Ew.
It had to have some smell to it, you know.
Oh yeah.
I was about to say, whoa, what just happened? Who's in the bathroom? But then the prankster, like, it took me a minute because, like, this when you first, like, you see his face, and, like, you see him, like, Morgan Edge's bed, and then you're like, wait, what? Oh, it's that guy.
Yeah, because again, it's like after Crisis. This guy's only shown up once in Superman 16. Yeah,
he's the belly big gulp soda, and he's hooking that up as his IV. I mean, honestly, that probably saved my life. So, and then we go to a big belly burger.
Yeah, where we see Jerry White. So yeah, Perry's son's been working. We haven't seen him in a minute. And now all of a sudden he's are they engaged? That's what
I don't think so.
Or are they dating? They just dating.
I think they're just dating.
Okay.
Oh, I just caught that. That the one building is Doubleday. That's a publisher. That's cool.
Oh yeah.
But then we're back. You know, the prankster, when he gets the mask, puts the pig mask on, then puts on the hockey mask.
Oh yeah.
Grabs the chainsaw. I was like, what the heck is going on?
He's like the kids love all the horror movies now.
And you know, we have the Perry White meeting
Tammy.
Yeah. And
it's the manager at Big Belly Burger, but she says, yeah, she's just the manager now, but she's going to
business school.
Yeah. Working on her master's degree. Then Perry's like, oh, he's like, see, son, you should, try to be more like this.
Where do you want to work? LexCorp.
Ah! Yeah, exactly.
But my favorite part of this is Clark with his black dress shirt and
the orange tie that matches the pants.
Yeah. I think it's a good look for Clark. Because like I said, I like when Clark's not wearing Superman colors as Clark. Like,
it's not like the same blue suit he wore all through the Silver Age. Yeah, no.
Exactly. And this is where we learn that Cat Grant's fired.
Oh yeah, well, again, after the whole threat to his life by Joe Morgan Edge is like, he's like, well, I can't kill her, but I'm going to fire her. So he calls
pull her contract.
Yeah, and like rip up her contract.
And then Clark, at the bar trying to console her, and then dashes off.
Yeah, because the news comes on about because it's the print. It's already hit the news that the prankster is tormenting Morgan Edge in his hospital room. That's the weird thing, though, because it's like that's the thing. I think I mentioned this around at the time, but it's like, after the whole, Superman's getting examined at Cadmus and stuff, and Brainiac kind of deleted himself from his memory. But as he fly back to the planet, he's like, yeah, how do I know I got over that whole gangbuster thing, man? You had a split personality, and then all of a sudden it's just like, I guess not. But I don't know. I just always thought, once he discovered he was gangbuster, that kind of killed the whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. He busts up the chainsaw.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, because
and then has the prankster slip on a banana peel, of all things.
Yeah, because the prankster tries to run out of the room, and because the prankster had used that banana peel on one of the nurses or something, and so Superman just uses his super breath to blow it in prankster's way.
And then they're handcuffing him. Excuse me.
But I love when Superman flies in, and just like on the cover there, flies in the way of the chainsaw, and Prankster's wearing the hockey mask. He goes, "Sorry, Jason. I think this really is your final chapter. If only. If only."
Yeah.
So.
And he said, "I'm not a murderer. I'm a prankster. This was just a big joke."
Yeah, it seems like he just wanted the attention because, again, it almost looks like one of his one side of his handcuffs falls off, and he pushes it back on. He's like, "No, not yet. Not while I'm still big news. Not yet."
Yeah. And
then the whole Jerry White thing. It seems like Tammy's mad at him because she's like, "I think you wanted to make your parents mad that you're dating a black woman, but it's like." She's like, "Meanwhile, they didn't care about that. The only thing they cared about is the LexCorp thing."
Right. It feels weird because it feels like you have this stuff with the prankster. I don't know. It feels weird because it feels like they're getting off work in the evening, but the prankster stuff and Cat Grant and Superman all feel like it's during the day.
Kind of, yeah.
But then the Whites feel like it's in the evening, but it's not. Like it's all during the day at the same time. Like,
yeah, I mean, if you look outside at the hospital on the last page, it almost looks like it's like sunset or yeah.
I don't know. It's just kind of weird the timing, like because they got off their work shift and then went straight to work. I don't know. It just feels weird, but it's whatever.
Yeah. Again, I mean, it wasn't like a big, huge, but again, it's a prankster, and then again, we were filling in blanks from the whole gangbuster thing, and again, in this era, I mean, the supporting cast was also big. So again, we see Jerry White again after a long time, and
I mean that is something that I really do love about this time is a supporting cast that's good. And it's like we've talked about it here, and I know I've talked about it on other things too. It's just if you're enjoying the characters in the world, I don't mind a story where all of a sudden my main character is not there.
Yeah.
And I'm following the secondary characters.
Yeah.
Because you've built the world that I'm okay and I want to inhabit and feel. But if you haven't done that, then I don't like it. But they've done a good job of making Clark feel like he's really in a world more so than in a bubble of like, there's two other people that he interacts with.
Yeah. And again, too, it's like, at this point he has 3 monthly books. And again, it's going to go to 4. It's basically going to be weekly Superman. So yeah, I can see, you'd really want to flesh out the city and everything. But no, good for Kat. I mean, she goes down to the bar and, Clark thinks she's about to go drink, she's about to drink her troubles away, but she doesn't.
Yeah, she makes a turn. She takes a club soda. So,
and from what she said, so Clark didn't even know she was his source. She just kind of anonymously gave, sent him the notes or whatever she was taking.
Yeah, like I mean,
because that's another thing. It's like, I don't know, maybe just because Exile started so quickly, though, it's like, you never really saw anything about starting a story. So, Clark was just like, oh yeah, tells Mom and Pa, send these in every couple of weeks and stuff. And we never saw him working on the story, but so I guess
exactly
an anonymous source was slipping him notes.
So I don't know. I just think that Clark's having a rough time because I like what you said, like things have happened that's really kind of altered what he's thinking and his personality. So,
and that's the thing. He did the whole gangbuster thing, and then there's going to be another big thing kind of like that coming up here soon. I forget how many months, but it's coming.
Dum dum dum.
Did the Day of the Krypton Man anyone?
Dave. Yeah.
Oh man, there's 1 month coming. It'll be next year, but there's 1 month where all 3 Superman books have a crossover. It's Batman, Superman, and Batman. Oh god, we gotta try to get ready for that.
We should.
Yes,
that would be good.
My favorite character.
That's why we need Ray.
Or at least Lilith and Justin.
Who's Justin?
What? Oh, come on. You know who Justin is.
I only know him by his other name, the
It's
Owl.
me, your old pal, the Owl.
Exactly. I don't know no Justin. I only know the Owl.
All right. Should we get to the next one?
Yeah. Which one's next?
Adventures of Superman 459. All right, there's the cover. Which I wasn't like, I mean, it's not a bad cover, but I'm just like, I wasn't blown away by it.
Yeah, I really feel like it has nothing almost to do with the book. Like it does, but the cover's kind of plain.
And it's basically him just like walking away. And yeah.
What would have been a better cover just out of is like something with Emil Hamilton and Jimmy kind of.
Or just, yeah, just like the Eradicator exploding all over the place. Yeah. Like him trying to grab at the Eradicators. It's like, but let's talk this. All right, Adventures of Superman 459 from October 1989. Solitude. Writers Dan Jurgens and George Perez. Penciler Dan Jurgens. Inker Tim Gula. Colorist Glenn Whitmore. Letterer Albert de Guzman. And editors Mike Carlin and Jonathan Peterson. Superman heads to Antarctica, reflecting about the last meeting he had with Emil Hamilton about Jimmy Olsen's health. During that meeting, Superman is notified about the possibility that he is responsible for infecting Jimmy with an alien virus. After being analyzed thoroughly, Superman concludes that the Eradicator might be responsible for Jimmy's mutation. He then brings the device to analyze it in the lab, but Hamilton activates it by accident, triggering an explosion that destroys the lab. Superman manages to protect the professor, but one of the energy bolts strikes Jimmy, turning him into a stretching man again. Superman contains the device in his cape, shutting it off. Jimmy goes back to normal. Deeming it dangerous for human life, Superman wraps the device in a metallic sheet and fuses it, determined to get rid of it. Thus, Superman is now in Antarctica, and he throws the Eradicator in a crater of ice. Unnoticed to him, the device activates itself at the bottom of the crater. And that's going to have no effect over the next couple months. Not at all.
I didn't think so.
Especially with this title, Solitude. No.
Like for the most part, okay, this book, I'm just like, okay. I'm like, all right, whatever, right? But can we just say how creepy Emil Hamilton is?
Well, yeah, I don't think he's not the most
like I don't know if it's just me or something, but I just, I was so used to Emil Hamilton from like the animated cartoon when he was good until he turned. This Dr. Hamilton, like seriously, I'm like, dude, like you're creepy. Like this whole thing, like I just feel like he's at any moment ready to like just curse Superman's existence.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe everyone else is like Tyler. I don't know what you're talking about, but like even the way he's drawn, I'm like, what is up with this, Dr. Hamilton?
Yeah, he's not really the biggest people person, and I don't know. Maybe it's just the way he's written and stuff. Again, at least until the next century, he's going to be harmless. But yeah.
So I like the way he talks to Superman, and they're trying to figure out the stuff with Jimmy, and then they kind of even Superman starts to deduce that it's potentially could have been Matrix that caused the issue.
Well, they go over the timeline and they figure, they're the first spike in Jimmy's DNA is when Superman returned to Earth. And again, we already went over this in a previous issue that, Superman picked him up when he first came back. And then it's like, well, what happened on this day or the next day or whatever? And he's like, oh, that's when I went to Mr. Kent's apartment and, took a photograph of Superman and Clark Kent together.
Yeah. And Clark's like, what? You did, huh?
And of course he's thinking, well, I don't want to tell them, too much
wasn't
about
me.
my
Yeah,
identity. But
guys, it wasn't me. It was Matrix. What are you talking about, Superman?
But and again, that would have to. Again, that's like, oh yeah, that wasn't the real Clark Kent or whatever. It's like treading on the secret identity thing. So
He's like, son of
mhm. And then yes, then of course that's when he stretched last issue and. But then they examine Hamilton examines Superman, and it's like he picks up slight traces of like some kind of microbe or something on his costume, and then he's like, "Oh, when I did come back, I did take a shower." So Hamilton's like, "I guess they could have washed away the bacteria."
Just a good old American shower will get rid of any extraterrestrial bacteria that you may have picked up in space.
And then there's the whole Eradicator explosion. So
I hope you use some Dr. Squatch soap.
oh. But I think it was the Eradicator, because then he's talking about the explosion, and he's like, "Oh yeah, the Eradicator was pretty much except for when Jimmy started stretching, was there when Superman first picked up Jimmy. He was there. It was there in the apartment when he met with him in Matrix, and he's like, "Oh yeah, and maybe this new costume."
Yeah, it was something interesting.
So Hamilton wants to examine it, and of course we go over the history of the Eradicator again.
Yeah, and I think that sometimes they're writing these books so that you kind of feel like, oh, I need to be reading all these books. But then they do stuff at times where you're like, I already know this. I don't want to reread this. I just read this story. I feel like you're just taking up space in this,
Well, once again, books in this era, like they go by the Stan Lee rule, where it's basically like, oh, you never know. This could be someone's first comic book, and
that's great. That's why they have the things that says like see Superman 16.
I know, but I'm trying to remember 89. I mean, there was no internet, there were no apps. It's like if you had to track down back issues if you wanted to see this.
And I appreciate that. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, it's just a lot of like, okay, I just did this,
Mm-hmm.
So
Hamilton messes with the Eradicator, and it goes off, starts shooting energy out all over the place, and makes Jimmy stretchy again.
Poor Jimmy.
So Superman gets Hamilton out, and he goes back for Jimmy. And then, of course, it must have been the Eradicator all along. But then Clark goes back in to try to grab the Eradicator, and he starts wrapping his cape around it. Then all of a sudden, it just shuts itself off.
I wonder why.
So that's what Superman decides. Yeah, this thing's too dangerous to be around humanity. So he wraps it in metal and seals it with his heat vision, and takes it to just in case they would need it again. That's why he's not chucking it into the sun yet or anything. So
you're like yet,
or so he wraps it in this metal cocoon and basically, like I said, drops it in this crater in Antarctica. I think he says, or if they ever can use it again, or and he doesn't dare try to destroy it. It says the resulting energy blast might be enough to destroy half the planet.
That's a big responsibility.
Yep.
But I mean, he just puts it in the crater, and that's where it ends.
Well, he starts flying away, but he doesn't get out of Antarctica.
Yeah.
Because, all right, so we get the action. Or do you have thoughts on this Adventures issue?
I mean, it was like I just like I said, like this one didn't do much for me. I feel like Emil Hamilton, he just feels like he's Superman's like ally, but yet he's always condemning Superman.
Oh yeah,
he always seems super judgmental and ready to just like put Superman down at any time.
Yeah. So he's like, "Oh, you probably made Olsen sick." It's like, okay, really?
I mean, look at the spikes in his DNA. Please explain to me how you're discovering this. Like, give me the background story, please. because I need to understand what I'm looking at here. Whatever this is,
Yeah, I mean, I'll buy that, but again, I guess it was just setting up a mystery so we get to the answer, which was the Eradicator.
Yeah, the Eradicator.
So I wonder if that was always the plan to just cut the Jimmy stretching story short, or if they were just like, "Yeah, this stretching story ain't going nowhere. Let's just reveal the Eradicator and move forward."
I hope so, because the stretching stuff is not interesting.
Yeah, like I said, I think it was a quick homage to like some Silver Age stuff, but all right. Let's talk some Action Comics 646, which that cover could be good. I don't know. There's too much green goop in the way though.
Right.
The bell chart around the world. All right. Adventures. Action Comics 646, October 1989. Burial Ground. Roger Stern and Keith Giffen writers. Keith Giffen penciler. Inker Dennis Jank. Colors Glenn Whitmore. Letterer Bill Oakley. And editors Mike Carlin and Jonathan Peterson. All right. Kids.
This is one thing about the app I'm going to say I don't like. Is like if you go to, like, you read the book and then it prompts you for the next issue, but there's not any way to hit like go back. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I have to go back to the action, scroll all the way through it, find the issue again, hit that.
Yeah, that's what I don't like. Yeah, like with these Superman books, there should be two links. Should be like go to the next issue of Adventures of Superman, or go to the Action Comics issue. Yeah.
I'm just like, if I finish like action whatever and I want to go back and read it again, I should have hit like at the end, like hit refresh or something. Or if I click on like the next issue, there's something that I can go back to the issue before, because it's a pain to go have to re-find it all over again.
Oh yeah.
But this one, like you said, the cover was but this one I think I was even more just kind of like, because this opening I'm like, what? But
yeah, because it opens up like millions of years ago. These aliens dropped this thing on Earth when it was basically hardly no life or hardly any life on Earth. Something about infestation, and one of the aliens is like, "Well, do you think this is a good idea?" And there's guys like, "No, there's like nothing on this world." And
yeah, and then we see like the fish, like basically the idea of the fish coming up out of land.
Yeah, because it's like this thing's entered a dormant state. It could be a long time before it awakens, a very long time. Yeah, as we see, everything starts evolving for basically volcanic terrain. Then it's an ocean. Yeah, and then now it's 300 million years later. Now it's Antarctica. Yeah. And even though we saw him kind of flying away before, Superman still seems to be standing at this crater.
Yeah, we got to kind of overlap,
Yeah, so he's kind of back where he was. But again, think about the Eradicator. So again, Tyler's favorite. Let's do a recap of the Eradicator.
I mean, that's what page 4 is. And then page 5 is kind of a recap of the last book. I feel like we get the new story starting in page 6. So,
well, at least we didn't recap. Oh, we just got an editor's note for Adventures of Superman 459.
We did.
But he does like one last check of the Eradicator. It's still there. And then he's like, wait a minute. It feels like a rumble. But he's like, that's not a normal Earth tremor. So he flies off, and something's been scooping up big chunks of ground out of Antarctica. It's like so much so it's like goes under the ice. So then he goes down, finds signs of like a outpost, and follows the this trench to a tunnel basically, and goes in.
And then we catch up with our good friend Milton Fine.
Yeah, still unwilling guest of Lex Luthor in this in his psionics lab in the Rockies there.
Not to make a spoiler or anything, But for anyone, and Phil, did you catch the names Milton and everything during the last episode of Superman and Lois?
Mm-hmm. You know what I saw? I don't know if it's confirmed. I saw a theory that did you see Tom Cavanaugh is going to be guest starring, and they're saying that he may be a certain character named Milton.
Yeah, I did see that, and I'm kind of like, I love Tom Cavanaugh, great, but it'd be awesome if he just shows up as like Harrison Wells, like I would be.
You're going to say Reverse Flash.
Yeah, just let him be the like Harrison Wells of that Earth, like the really, you know, and everyone's like, oh, and then what I want is, spoiler alert, is, you know, they said the B word. You know what I'm saying? I want I cannot remember, it's Blake something, but the guy who played that character on Krypton to show up. But all right, we'll get back to Superman comic. We'll just make people interested. But yeah.
You know, basically, I thought I wanted to see him show up as Reverse Flash, just show up, be like, where the F am I?
Yeah, like this Earth. I mean, that I feel like if they did that, it would just pull away so much.
Yeah,
from what they've been doing. But anyways, sidetracked.
But no, I did it. I thoroughly enjoyed the first 2 episodes of this last season of Superman and Lois.
Yeah, we'll talk on that a little bit when we're done.
Yeah,
but that just tells you how much I enjoyed this issue.
Yeah,
I would rather go off on a tangent on anything else right now, like Superman related, because like this issue didn't do anything for me, honestly.
Yeah, kids. If you listen to Sector 2814, it's like me and Will say, why are we lollygagging here? It's what is this, a Brightest Day issue? Come on.
Ooh, I haven't read Brightest Day in a long time.
No, don't bother. So yeah, no, yeah, this whole thing is basis. Superman goes underground and comes across this big alien, like would you say a worm, a slug, a snail? What?
Right. I know. I was like, for a second I was like, I thought I really missed something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, wait, did I fall asleep reading this and then came back? No, I didn't. I just didn't understand what the heck was going on at first.
Yeah, because he fights it, and first he tries to hold back, but the thing, it's like, well, it vomits some kind of like almost, Superman says like lava, but it hardens around him, and then the thing just like throws him away, and he's like, that's it. Then he goes back, and he's punching the creature in the teeth and stuff, and then it like kind of swallows him. But he's like, yeah, this thing's even weirder than that creature I teleported into while I was out in space. And how does he beat it, kids? Well, let me tell you. He activates his heat vision. The thing blows up, and then one of these Antarctic scientists later says, the thing, I don't know what, the digestive process or whatever. There must have been a bunch of methane or and it's like your heat vision must have touched off the methane inside the creature. So, yes, kids, Superman blew up and defeated this alien creature by lighting its fart on fire with heat vision.
Yeah, and that's why I just completely checked out of this. Like, I was not invested. This really feels like almost like the definition of a filler.
Yeah, I you know what? I mean, technically there was nothing wrong with these issues, but it's almost like this month is a fill-in for, what's come before and what's coming up here. Because again, there's big stuff coming up. I mean, there's a Brainiac trilogy, there's stuff with the Eradicator, there's a bunch of stuff coming up.
It's like they just needed to, like you said, fill time, patch a couple of things, but like this is one of those moments where if I was a regular, reader at the time, always checking in, I would be a little frustrated because I would feel like I just wasted my money. Like if I spent money on that issue, I would have been frustrated because I don't feel like I really got anything out of it. It feels like you're just retreading the same ground.
Yeah.
And Superman blows up a bug. It looks like Mr. Mine.
I mean, if you want to see Superman fight a giant alien creature, I mean, no, there's action and stuff, but
yeah.
And again, for like we were just praising, the Superman books of this time for the big, huge supporting cast. Didn't get any Lois this month. Didn't get any Lex
No.
this month. We barely got Perry, just with the whole Jerry thing. Didn't get Maggie Sawyer, any of the cops.
Yeah, you're right. Huh.
Yeah, we got that one scene with Kat, and of course we got Jimmy because he was stretchy.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't care about Stretchy Jimmy. It just feels like, oh my gosh, we have to do something.
Yeah, and again, it's unless I'm wrong. I mean, this is one of the. I mean, there might be one or two issues here or there, but I think this is like the biggest slog that we're going to get through for a while. I think from here on out, it's going to be moving pretty well.
Awesome.
Most months, yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I almost feel like they were just like, okay, we're wrapping up stuff, and we dealt with all the stuff that Byrne left us, so now we have free reign to do what we want. So
I can see that. Like we finally have the past.
We dealt with him killing those criminals, the guilt and everything that and all that.
Yeah, I can see that.
And again, this is getting towards the end of the year, and I think like they usually met, I don't know what time of year, and they plotted the next year. So
that is, I mean, everything Phil is saying, people, is true, and to take into consideration, especially I feel like if you have a creative team that maybe leaves early.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but yeah, it's interesting.
But did you want to talk some Superman and Lois?
No, I just want to. I mean, we can like just your thoughts.
Mean, like I said, I just enjoyed it again, especially we didn't get a ton of Superman. But again, the stuff we did see with him in Doomsday was great.
I mean, the biggest things for me is some of the structural things as the show is you can feel where they've trimmed the cast.
Yeah.
Like in the first episode, it didn't really bother me because the way they designed the first episode. But then,
but you could tell. I mean, you don't see Lana's ex-husband. You don't see.
There's
you don't see the youngest daughter. Yeah.
The youngest daughter. Me and James laugh about that because it's one of those where they created a character, then realize we don't know what to do with this character, so they just disappear.
Well, they cut the cast too, so it's like
But there's no dialogue. Like, where's John Henry? Like,
although I think he's coming. He might be coming this week. I thought I saw.
He's in the next episode.
Yeah, but he's not going to be in every episode. Yeah,
no. But it's just like if you watch the finale, because me and Solomon rewatched the finale because I bought the season 3 on Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to put it in my Blu-ray player with the surround sound speakers to listen to that, like him fight Doomsday, which just shook the whole house. We're watching that and you see they're all there, like in downtown Smallville when, Clark goes away. And I feel like any other time we would have seen John Henry's kind of point of view, what him and Natasha are dealing with Superman being gone, because the fight took more than a day.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was gone for like about 2-3 days or something.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just little things that happen in the episode where you're like, okay, I could see John Henry being here or some sort of comet. And there's no dialogue that explains like where they are.
Mm-mm.
And then the first episode's like all about Sam. Then he's not even mentioned or seen in the next episode.
I know.
So it's like you kind of start to feel a little bit of the, all right, you shrunk down the cast. And so now we can feel it because the show is very tight. And they did a good job of how they brought Lana in, not being in the first episode, but how they got her in the second episode.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then there was a moment in the second episode with the character was Chuck, some new character,
Oh yeah.
That is kind of it's done off screen, where Lana references like he figured it out and everything. But I'm like, how much of a better scene would that have been emotionally if he goes to the farm and tells Lois and like brings her something and says, "I know,
Yeah.
and your secret's safe with me."
Yeah. It's just,
And you see how people kind of like, it's kind of like the Spider-Man 2 scene where, you know, he doesn't have his mask on and everyone hands him back his mask and they're like, we're not going to say anything. Like, and you just have that moment of like realization or something like that. Like, so, I mean, I really enjoyed these two. I mean, I don't know if enjoy is the right word, but Jenny and I both watched them and it was like really good. And it's sad that this is the final season, but we'll see how this goes because there are some choices made, man, with a certain character. Not going to say who's still out there.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, what? And my one friend, he is not very happy with that. He is, my friend Anthony from Digging for Kryptonite is a little frustrated with with that choice, but that's all I got.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And again, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and yeah, I was very. It was emotional.
Oh, I'm not afraid. I was crying. Whatever. Who cares? I'm
Just,
secure.
yeah, just Lois and her memories of Clark and stuff. Yeah,
it's good stuff. Good stuff. So as of this recording, you know, currently the newest episode did just air.
Yes.
But Jenny and I'll be watching it in the morning.
3, yeah. All right. No. Anything else?
No, that's it, man.
All right. All right, kids. So that's your last Krypton report. Electric Mullet for the month. I know. Confused. The host of the Krypton reports here. I don't know.
Feels like, what show are we on? We're still talking Superman. Did we cross over?
I know. We were talking Lois and Clark. I was talking Lois and Clark with you. I'm like, you're got to be on the Krypton report, right?
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, kids. So yes, but next month, yes, after the next 2 weeks, we'll get some Nightwing news. Yes, next time. Where am I? Here we go. Yes, we will cover, of course, Adventures. Well, next time we'll only have two issues: Superman 37 and Adventures of Superman 460. And then the second episode we'll do Action 647, Superman 38, and Adventures of Superman 461. So
it's good stuff.
Yes.
I told Solomon, he asked me what we were doing, and I just I had to explain the whole why it's called Electric Mullet to him. And just explain how we're like reading through these comics just straight. And he's like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, get him to read some of these old stuff. Be like, this is what be like, these were out when I was your age or something.
He told me he wants to do another book review, and he asked, can we do Hush?
Oh.
So I'm like, okay. All right.
Wow. Good to
know.
Wow.
Because he wants to read some and go over it with me. So I'm like, okay.
Daddy, it's not true. Batman can't kick his butt. Superman's butt, can he?
That's only because Superman allows it, just to make Batman feel important, son.
All right. So yes, send us your thoughts on those issues, these issues, Lois or Superman and Lois. What book do you want to hear Solomon review? Email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can find all things Capes Lunatics episodes, social media, merchandise. Get your brand new Capes Lunatics merch, or classic Capes Lunatics merch. And of course, crazier and more unstoppable than any prankster or any alien menace, Lilith Hellfire demands that you rain random money on us through the Cash App link.
Make it rain.
Because yes, again, don't make us dance on that pole, or the Eradicator or the prankster or someone will be after us.
She looks like she's just working a stripper pole down at Divas.
And of course, our Patreon, where you can find exclusive content, uncensored content from me and Lilith every month. And if you're a patron, you can suggest topics for us to discuss every month. Like we've already done some Justin topics. So again, program for us, hear your ideas discussed on the Patreon. But you can find that at patreon.com/Capes and Lunatics, and you can find everything at tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network. It's tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network.
More vicious and brutal than ever.
Thank you, Al. All right, now, and again, if you didn't get enough Superman talk here, where else can they hear you talk Superman, Tyler?
So Tyler talks Superman over at the Krypton Report podcast. You're
Not
all
third,
things.
not in the third person like that. No.
No. Tyler, talks Superman Krypton Report, and
James Cole. You can't talk about yourself in the third person.
I know that is true. Anywhere you get your podcasts, YouTube, you'll find us on social media. Just look for Krypton Report. And right now we are, like I said, covering the final season of Superman and Lois. So,
of course. Oh man, tell James Cole that would be the greatest episode. For one whole episode, he just talked about himself in third person. Be like, James Cole, love this episode.
I'm like, James, I have a pitch idea for you.
James Cole's favorite character in this episode was, oh my god,
who was James Cole like? James Cole will tell you who he liked. James Cole likes this.
Yeah. And James Cole read some new comics this month. Yeah.
It'd be hilarious. I'm going to introduce him in a third person sense. I'll figure it out later. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Yes. And my co-host, James Cole, with him is James Cole. Huh? Yes. Everything's got to be pluralized. So I want you to talk about yourself in the third person. Well, I'll talk about myself plural.
I'll introduce him as James Cole, the third person.
This will be fun.
All right, kids. So yes, that's it. Thank you for joining us. Again, next 2 weeks, some Nightwing news. Next week, we'll hear me and Kristen's review the new Nightwing books. And then, yes, after 2 weeks of Nightwing news, Tyler and I will be back.
Yeah, we will.
We'll start the Brainiac trilogy. Oh no, is that the episode after?
I think it's the episode. No.
Yeah.
Might be the episode after, but it'll be fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because there's no action next episode. Yeah, kids, more Jimmy stuff, more Eradicator stuff.
See, I guess what I forgot to say is with Kat being fired at the bar, that should have ended with her sitting there staring at the drink while Jimmy just sat down next to her.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Kat.
All right, kids, come back next time for Truth, Justice, in the Mullet Way.